It is what it is. Did you find it?
No. If I found it, I'd have it.
I thought it was in your purse.
No.
Is it in my purse?
Why would it be in your purse?
I don't know. Did you set it down in Walmart? Where's the last place you had it?
In the house, if I knew where it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's been an afternoon. We'll just say that. It has just been an afternoon.
Could we do the find?
Yeah.
Find on your computer because I can't. I'm not logged in on your computer.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you need me to log in with?
Just find my iPhone.
There it is. Hang on. I have to log out. Just sign out, man. There we go. This is killing me. I like that it says sign in with iPhone when you're trying to do the find my iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I could find my iPhone,
Also,
I wouldn't need to.
It has
Okay,
AirPods.
so phone.
Yeah, there. It has AirPods on it, but I can't, like, it doesn't do anything with the AirPods.
Play sound.
Yeah.
Hear it. Shows it's here. I don't hear it.
It's not in her mouth.
Okay. I didn't hear it. It says it's here.
Okay, good.
All right, I'll play it again when you get out there. I'm sure it's in the car. Yeah, I don't hear it. I don't hear it at all. Yeah, when I got off my live stream a while ago, we were gonna run to the grocery store, right? And I don't know if she found it or not. Did you find it?
What's funny?
What?
The apartment key that I lost.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, it slid down on the floor. And I wouldn't have checked on the floor because I keep it in the center console. But that was also where my apartment key was.
Oh my gosh.
I have food angels and I have a key angel.
A key angel. You know, I know somebody that's obsessed with keys. I'm gonna tell her that that's a thing. A key angel.
Well, am I wrong? Like, if my phone, why would I have ever checked the bottom of, or would have checked in that part of the car?
Will you get my purse and hand me that little black bag?
Okay.
Please and thank you.
Was an angel.
I would agree.
Huh?
I would agree.
Like my food angels.
The whole food angel thing is, you're cracking me up with that.
No, I'm dead serious about that. Because I've had, like, issues with my appetite, and then every time I'm craving something at work and I want to eat, extra food spawns.
I don't know.
Exactly what I was craving, and it's happened like 4 different times with 4 different things. And that's too many times to be a coincidence.
Magic.
It's because there's angels that are trying to get me to eat.
Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Magic. See, magic is real. Y'all didn't know it. Just saying. Manifestation.
I can't see if my face is in the camera. It probably was. Because you put your thing right in my area.
Well, yeah, but that covers you, so
Does it?
yeah,
Okay, good.
you weren't on the camera.
I think they saw the ends of my hair. They saw my split.
Oh no, they saw your hair.
They saw my split ends and my wrist.
You don't have split ends. All right, so I think that my alarm is also off, and here's why I think that, because if I check my thing, okay, maybe not. It says 124, and that said 130. Okay, so it's not. It's just my own paranoia. Yay, yay. It is what it is. All right, so let's see here. What am I doing with my life right now? What am I doing with my life right now? I feel like this evening we need music, and I feel like if I don't have music, my brain's gonna go nutso. I feel like my brain's gonna go nutso. I need to keep an eye on the fucking weather. I don't understand what this is going on. Like Sass and I were talking about it earlier too, that it's so weird the way that things are popping up, because it just now it's doing this thing. It's just really fucking weird. We'll just say that. It's just really, really fucking weird. They pop up and they go from nothing to like everything all at once. And that is weird. That is weird. TikTok is being laggy again. Yeah, so like right now, I just was outside loading groceries, like bringing groceries in, and look over that way, and I'm like, oh, there's another one coming, and sure as shit, there's three like little dots, but they just appear. It's the craziest fucking thing, and they just go from, instead of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird. Instead of it being like rain and then it gets bad as it goes, these are just like rain bad. Like, does that make sense? Rain bad. And it's fucking weird. And it's absolutely fucking weird. So how bad is the lag on TikTok now? I'm wondering if it's not the storms and shit that's making it even worse. Like, that's what I'm wondering. So let's see here. If we were to make some more of that music, let's do that. Want to? Want to? Want to? The answer is yes. All right, let's see. Oh, shoot. I don't remember what we had on that the other day. Fark. Shit. Thank you for that. Cinematic ritual music. Let's not do that. See, do you hear the thunder? It just, I don't get it. I don't get it. And so then part of me wants to be like, it's CERN. And the other part of me wants to be like, no, it's not. The Earth's trying to yeet us. And, I don't know. I don't know. Just everything feels weird. Everything feels weird, and I don't like it. Let's see. Let's see what this does. thunder because it just is. It just is. That was my kid. Wait, what? No, son of a bitch. It auto-corrected the word cello to an artist name. And then it told me that it didn't do artist. And I'm like, I know that. So what? Murph. Okay. Now I kind of want to listen to it because it says reggae cinematic hybrid. Now I kind of want to listen to it. What if it's good? And what if we get off on that tangent? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Fuck. Fuck. I kind of like it. Damn it. Fuck. Cheers. But I don't like that there's no big ups and downs in it. You know what I mean? All right. So let's see what these other ones are that it did, okay? Let's see. I needed to have some crescendo. You know what I mean? What? What do you think? What do you think? Oh, I like the pauses in it. I am not mad. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I like the ebbs and flows in it. Okay. It's kind of making the ADHD happy. Okay. 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 But I still feel like for witchy stuff, we gotta have something darker. Yeah? Yeah? Oh no, I'm gonna add it to the playlist. I like the back and forth. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. What do y'all think? Okay. Let's see what it just created. I changed a couple of things. Son of a bitch. I've got to quit putting regular ibuprofen and stuff that says migraine. Okay. Okay, I like it. Right? It's a little... All right, now we're getting over into... I like it, but it's a little too much. It's too much. It's too much. I like it. We're creating some new music tonight to do astrology too. Because it's too quiet. Oh no, both of them are glitchy, Sadie. I may have to get off of here on TikTok and go over to this phone that has data on it. Yeah, see, that's too much. I like it, but that's too much. That's good house cleaning music and not so much good with the what we're looking at, right? Yeah. I don't like that YouTube is glitchy though. Got too loud. We just need to see if we're on track. I think this is going to be too slow. So if we're too slow, then we're all going to be like, so whenever Jupiter goes into the ninth house, and then Uranus, like that's what's going to happen. So we can't have it too slow. I do like this one. Don't get me wrong. All right. Let's see what we got now. Yeah, if this is being too glitchy, let me see. We'll just switch phones. Yeah, we'll just switch phones. Hold on. Hold, please. We're going to pause this live. Pause. We're going to unplug that phone. We're going to plug the other phone up. And see if that fixes it. Because I've got all the shit that I have on this one abrasive. Let's see. Hopefully it'll just say resume live. see. Yes, resume live. Did it do it? It did. It did. It doesn't have my banner at the top. Oh! Let's see. Let's see. It doesn't have my banner at the top, but let's see. Oh, shit. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Now we're cooking with Crisco. So, let's see. Will it let me use this? Oh! All right. All right. All right. All you need is love. Okay, sweet. So now let's see if that fixes anything at all over here on YouTube. And let's listen to this one. See if it slowed down a little bit. Or sped up a little bit, I mean. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. I lost what I had the other day. That sucks. This doesn't suck. But I need it. There we go. I'm trying to find my prompt from the other day. Let's see, what was that? I don't know what I think about that. It got really fast, really quick. I don't know what I think. I think it's too much. I gave it different parameters this time. It's just gonna start them all the same because it's being a bitch. I think that we're just gonna go ahead and just get on the witchy playlist. Like, I don't even want to listen to it. I don't even want to listen to it. I'm frustrated now. I just want it to open. Motherfucker. Some bitch. Okay, there we go. This is what we were creating the other night. This is what I wanted. Yeah. Okay, it actually is pretty close to what we had a second ago. Whoops. So it was doing what I said, and I was being a bitch. Okay. 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 Some bitch. Alright, okay. So who's next on my list? Save me, Rachel. Why did TikTok flash? Weird. You know what? Trying to chew boba sometimes is like a whole game. They run from you. I'm like, I'm trying to chew you. Okay. Here we go. So why? Here we go. Okay. All right, Rachel, are we ready? Some bitch. I'm trying to chew you. You're welcome. If you guys heard half of mine and Sass's conversations and the fucking vocal stems and musical Tourette's that is thrown back and forth, I mean, I am sure that if anybody actually listened to me and Sass talk, just normal, not working, not driving, not any of that, just like normal day conversations, I can only imagine the diagnoses that would fly. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. It's exactly what would happen. All right. Is it still freezing on YouTube? All right. Rachel and all your fucking Libra placements. Some bitch. What is it with you guys? Okay. I'm going to point this out. And I point it out every time I do an astrology live. Every time. Inevitably, all the people that decide to get readings on that day have something in common. And tonight, it apparently is stelliums. Or today. Because I think out of the 4 or 5 I did earlier, 3 people had them. Rachel has one. I think it's hilarious. Like, so we'll see. We'll see if it continues now that I've mentioned it. But Libra, Virgo moon, Taurus rising, Scorpio descendant. Okay. Libra, Pluto, Mars, Sun, Uranus, and Mercury. Let's see here. Sixth house. Sixth house. Fifth house. Okay. All right then. All right. Venus barely in Leo, just a smidge over in Leo, but in the fourth house. 100% the mama bear of all mama bear energy right there. So your love, your beauty, your happiness, all of that stuff is in Leo, which is the flair for the dramatic. And it's also in your fourth house, which is roots, home, family, etc. Saturn in retrograde in Gemini, barely, like a smidge over the line in the first house. Where are my glasses? I really just need to take the Hecatean placement off of here, but I kind of like seeing where y'all's magical shit is. So your Hecate asteroid is in the 12th house in Aries. And there we go. Jupiter in Capricorn, 8th house. Neptune in Sagittarius, 7th house. Okay. So I find it interesting that I kind of honed in on your Venus because A, it's just barely over the line on that Leo, but B, I noticed the squares that are attached to it. It's square with your ascending, it's square with your descending, it is square with your Jupiter. No, excuse me. Square with your Neptune. It's trine with your Jupiter and trine with your Hecate placement. Okay. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, depending on what day it is, because we all know how it is with family, you're super focused, super loyal, super everything with that Leo placement, with your fourth house, with family, with home, with roots, etc. But you end up in opposition with your own self because of the way that square is with the ascending and descending. So it being square with your ascending, which is in Taurus. Taurus is a very like homebody, I need to be rooted, I need to be happy, I need to be comfy type of zodiac sign, but it's also a very firm zodiac sign, and Leo is a very firm zodiac sign. Those are two signs that they don't really... Taurus will go along a little more than a Leo will go along. A Leo wants to be in charge and wants to be, the dramatic and the so on. Y'all know I'm right, Leo, so don't be over there like, but Taurus will go along. So you end up going along, plus you're a Libra, so you don't want anybody to get upset. So you end up going along until you just can't anymore, and then it explodes. And the problem is, then you get in opposition to what it is that you actually want. And then you get that Scorpio descendant, which just fucks you all the way up. Girl. And that moon being in Virgo. You really struggle with who you are. You really struggle with who you are, and you struggle with giving your power away. Even though you have so many cardinal placements, it's not even funny. You struggle with giving too much of you away. Taking forever. There we go. Yeah, 46% of your chart is cardinal sign. 46% of your chart is air sign, but So you struggle with giving too much of you away. You also struggle with showing emotion because you just have like just a drop of water in there. Like that's it. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say, Rachel. Because like that's the when I do these, they're just mini reads, right? And so I kind of hone in on the right? Um, my gut told me to talk about that. So I don't know if you've been having a lot of problems with family overstepping bounds or blowing up at them or whatever. I think that because you literally you just have the Scorpio descendant, that's it. Like everything else is a different, element. You have a problem identifying with your own emotions and where they are. You have them. You have deep emotions, but it's hard for you to say anything because of all those Libra placements really fuck you because Libra just wants balance, right? Being that that's your sun and that your Mars and your Mercury are there. You are very measured with your words. And since your Mercury is in your 6th house, which is your work ethic and your, inner discipline and so on, like you really are measured with it. You don't ever want to come across as being the crazy person, the psycho lady or whatever. You don't ever want to come across as that. So you're super measured with it. And the fact that you have a Taurus ascendant, so you put out this really strong, calm shell, it can be really tough for you to actually speak your mind. So my advice is going to be to lean into that Jupiter placement that you have. It is in square with your moon, meaning it's arguing a little bit, but it is in trine with your Venus, as I mentioned earlier. So that Jupiter placement is in Capricorn. Lean into that. That is, so Capricorn and Scorpio are both very hardcore decisive signs. Like once they make up their mind, it might take them a minute to make up their mind, but once they make up their mind, like that's it, bam, done. So lean into that because that's your luck, right? That's your driving force, in the universe. But that is smack in the middle of your 8th house. That is your house of rebellion and how you view the world and so on. So that being in trine with your Venus is a wonderful placement, especially for pulling you out of where I did catch that you said they were overstepping bounds. That is a good time for that. All of the things that you would normally say or not say. I'm gonna appeal to the Libra part of you, okay? I'm gonna give you permission to overthink it. Sit this evening and just on your phone or, whatever. If you could tell them exactly how you feel right now, what would it be? Put it on a notepad. Usually what I do is I voice text on a notepad. And sometimes it's, look here, motherfucker, blah, blah. If I start it off, if look here comes out of my mouth first, then it's going to be really bad. I know that it's going to have motherfucker in it a few times, right? But, I'm just saying, give yourself permission to overthink it. This is something that it'll serve you well with family. It'll serve you well at work. It'll serve you well in all of those things, right? Give yourself permission. Go, I don't know if you live by yourself or you have other people around or whatever, go into the bathroom or in the closet or something like that, or just step outside, be like, I just need some quiet for a minute and say everything that you need to say, but say it on the notepad, okay? Then save it, close your phone and walk away. Close your phone and walk away. Give it at least 10 minutes. Let it just sit. Give it 10 minutes, okay? Have a cup of coffee or, a glass of wine. I don't know. Just let it sit. Go from there. Come back to it, look at it, and if you look at it and you go, that was bad, I can't say that, where can you soften it without losing the meaning? Thesauruses are your friend. Online thesauruses are your friend. ChatGPT will be your friend. You can put that whole note into ChatGPT and be like, hey, so I really, really want to tell my mom, my uncle, my cousin, whatever, to fuck all the way off, but I can't do it with this. So if I want to say this thing, how do I say it tactfully? Right? The fucking hell? That better not have been a fucking spider. It was a little one, but that better not have been a... Woozah. Run it through that. Or walk away from it for the night and come back. Now, once you get it about perfect, then, when the conversation comes back up with that family member. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't say that. What I would say is it needs to be sent before the conversation comes back up because you don't want it to be a rebuttal. You need to let them know how you feel. Because as a Libra, with all those Libra placements, all you have ever done is just be, just placate. And it's going to get to the point where either you're going to explode, or you just let it go. Does that make sense? Or you just let it go. And letting it go means all of that stress is just going to sit right here. And that's not going to do anything except hurt you in the long term. Does that make sense? I would send it preemptively. Just send it, put your phone down and walk away. Make sure it's tactful first, right? Like make sure, because here's the thing. You have to say those things. Keeping all that stress inside you. I'm not saying be a dick. I'm not saying start a fight, okay? I'm saying you have to set those boundaries and you have to say those things. And if you don't say those things and set those boundaries, then all of that, you just letting people walk all over you, family-wise, is gonna continue to happen. I know from experience that from personal experience, that if you keep things bottled up and you just placate for too long, that it ends up fucking with your health. Like it can cause really serious heart problems. I'm just from my personal experience. So just be really careful. I wouldn't want anybody else to deal with that. Does that make sense? Just saying. That would be my advice. So, does that help? Just saying. Look at what I would say this too. Fall down the rabbit hole of what Jupiter in Capricorn means. What a Jupiter placement in Capricorn means. Don't worry about the house. Just fall down that rabbit hole of what it means. I'm just saying. Lean into that. That's a very strong placement for you, especially in handling business. Just saying. I do want to talk really quick about that Hecate placement that is in retrograde in your chart, because that thing is tied into your Mercury and into your Uranus, both in opposition, both not getting along. But the fact that your Hecatean placement is in retrograde, it's in your 12th house, you definitely, if you have been feeling like you are blocked from your path, you are. Because that is also tied in with your Saturn placement, which is in your barely in your first house in retrograde. So this is a karmic thing that you need to obliterate. Like, that's the word I'm going to use, that you need to obliterate in this life. Okay? Just saying. You need to obliterate that. I would advise having somebody look, like, pull your chart up and look, but have them pull your Hecate, your it's Pegasus placement, but the asteroid is called, I think in most astrology software, newer software, it's called Genevieve, I think. Genevieve, but it's the Pegasus placement. And then either your Hades or your Hades and Kali placement. I think that having them look at those things will help you tremendously. There are a lot of y'all. There are like 20,000 asteroidal placements in astrology, and they all mean something different. But those are the ones that I would have somebody look at. So yeah. I would book an appointment. I mean, I'm happy to help, but I'm not saying you need to book an appointment with me, but I'm happy to help. But that's what I would say, is have somebody open up where you can see on Zoom or whatever, deep dive into your chart with it. Yeah, that's what I would say. Because that is going to be a problem. It's been a problem, gonna be a problem, will continue to be a problem. So, does that make sense? All right. I'm so glad that I moved my desk forward, because now I can actually move my chair back. I can actually move my chair back without running over my Zeus caboose. What's up, Zeus caboose? I love you. My little Zeus taculon. Zeus taculon. We're home, so we can take the boots off now. Yeah, I love you so much. I feel like it's time. I don't have a... Y'all ever notice that when you don't have a normal, like, you have drinks that you have every day, right? So I have my water, I have my coffee, I have my boba, but I don't have a pop at all. Maybe that's why I'm pissy. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. All right, let's see here. Who is next? Let's see here. I got to make sure it doesn't get off of that playlist. Trish. Okay, let's see. So we're going to do that because y'all don't need to see all those things. I can't wait till they come out and fix this shit on Monday. It's so funny. So the place that you were born, I know that there is another one, but I guess I was wrong. There's not. There's only one. Maybe the place I'm thinking is not river. Because I was like, oh, okay, I'll see that here too. No. You wrong, bitch. Probably should quit calling myself bitch all the time. Oh my god, again with the stellium. All right, so out of let's see, how many have I done so far today? Out of 7 mini birth charts today, 7, only one has not had a stellium in it. Only one. All right. All right. So we're 1 and 6 at this point. I'm really going to pick on you. I'm really going to pick on you, Trish, because you have a Scorpio stellium. I'm really going to pick on you. Girl, if it's just in the dictionary, when you open it up, it says Scorpio, it's you. Sun, Moon, Venus, Jupiter, and Pluto. All in the second house. You want to know who's all about the monies? Trish. You want to know how to make Trish happy? Give her money. You want to know? Money. Yeah, you were the only one, Sadie, that did not have a stellium so far. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to keep picking on you. I'm just letting you know, because that is so fucking funny. Now, I will say one of your Scorpio placements is in retrograde, and that is your Venus. Okay, so all of those are in the second house. Then you have a Libra Mercury and a Libra rising. So it's funny because especially that you speak in a very measured tone, and Mercury's in your first house. You come across a little. I would bet you are probably a very serious Scorpio. I would bet you are, because your fourth house is almost all Capricorn, and you have your Neptune and your Pluto, or excuse me, Neptune and Uranus there. I would bet you are a very serious ass Scorpio. I would bet that when you tell people you're a Scorpio, they go, I would bet. Even though I'm laughing because you have so much. But the fact that that is in the second house, the fact that your Scorpio covers your second house, now, if it was your fifth house, I'd be like, oh, we all in trouble. If it was your eighth house, we would all definitely be in trouble. You would definitely be burning the world down. But it's not. It's your second house. And that's the material girl house. All about the monies, right? And then having a Libra rising, like, okay, Mars and Leo. Oh, in your 11th house, you will tell a bitch right straight to shut the fuck up. Okay. Saturn in retrograde in Pisces, just barely in the 6th house. Ooh, that is tied in with some shit over there. Okay. And that is tied in with your moon, your sun, and your Venus in the second house. All trine. Okay. Dude, you really pride yourself with not letting your emotions show to anybody. The fact that your Saturn, so Saturn being in the 6th house, Saturn is discipline and work ethic in the work ethic house, right? So the fact that you have that there, even though it's in retrograde, I actually think that's a phenomenal placement, because that is a Pisces. That your Pisces covers almost the entirety of your 6th house. Just a smidge, a sliver is in Aries. I think that if that were not in retrograde when you were born, I think that would be an emotional placement for you, but it's not. So I actually think that's a really good placement for you. The fact that that ties into 3 of those big placements over there. So I feel like we also need to talk about all of these placements in your second house, and I feel like the Venus in retrograde is a big issue, because it is also, hang on, let me pull that up. Boop. It is tied in with your Hecatean placement, which is just barely in the 7th house. So you have a lot of trust issues, don't you? Because those two aren't getting along. We'll talk about the Hecate placement too in just a second, but those two aren't getting along. Um, okay. Okay. You have a really hard time trusting people. It's so funny that Venus in retrograde fucks you a lot, because it's in the second house with money, right? The fact that it's in retrograde, Scorpios are very deeply loyal people, right? Like if they care about somebody, like they care all the way. Like there's no in between with them. They care every single fucking bit of the way. You have an issue with giving your trust to people and letting them in, and then it fucks you because you have your Neptune and Uranus in the fourth house. So your planet, and it's in Capricorn, which is a very serious, like a Capricorn that's really aligned, a Capricorn placement that's really aligned with home and family. That is an intensity that most people aren't ready for, right? So you have this Neptunian placement, which is your spiritual self. So your spiritual self needs to be at home to recharge. You are that person that you get recharged at home. You need to be at home. Now, obviously, can you go and stand, out in Sedona and look at the sky and just feel magic? Of course. But you don't have to have something over the top like that. You need your home turf, basically. But that Neptune placement makes you really fantasize about having that spiritual connection. Like, I think you would probably be super happy to have a huge family compound, that Scorpio self could protect, and the Capricorn is very territorial aspect. But so you're looking for something that you feel like doesn't exist because that damn Venus placement is an ass telling you, oh, you want somebody with an amazing job and you want to have a big, huge, nice house where all the family can come and be the center of attention and so on. But guess what? It doesn't exist. So that's a hateful place right there. It does exist. Okay. Let me say that. It's hilarious. You just mentioned a compound the other day. I mean, maybe it's a sign from the universe. Maybe it's a sign from the universe. Capricorn, any time y'all have a placement in Capricorn, or what house your Capricorn zodiac sits in on your birth chart, for you, like I said, it's the majority of your fourth house. Capricorn is a very territorial sign. All earth signs are very territorial. So like your spiritual house is in Virgo. So everything with you spiritually, like mine, like this is mine, don't touch it. This is mine, don't look at it. You are definitely that person that has a hidden altar, but then Taurus is covering your eighth house. So when you rebel, when you feel like you need to rebel against something, it is not something little that you do it all the way. I mean, being a Scorpio, you're going to show out anyway if you really feel the need to rebel. But that eighth house placement, or that eighth house in Taurus, is a very territorial aspect. You are going to rebel and not let anybody know you did it, and then be like, yeah, bitches, this was happening, right? So you need to allow yourself to be able to actually open up and look for the people that are going to make that compound happen. Does that make sense? Like, whether you need to do the inner circle, like, meet the Fockers or whatever. I don't know. You've got to figure out a way for you to let those people in. because you have way too many placements in that second house. You 100% are going to have the money. So just shush, you know. And having that Capricorn fourth house, yeah, you're going to have the compoundiest compound that ever compounded. But that Venus placement kind of fucks you a little bit. I will say this. You also, I'm glad that, so your Hecatean placement up there is in retrograde in your chart, but the fact that it is not tied into your Mercury makes me happy, because Mercury being in your first house, that is the house of self, right? So you take a lot of pride in your communication, and in like how you speak and how you are and so on. So word magic is going to be a big thing for you. So if you've been wondering, like, I feel like I need to point this out. Word magic is going to be a huge thing for you. So if you've been wondering, like, what can I do to bump up my magic a little bit? What can I do to, you know, bump life up a little bit? Use those words. Like, really define what it is that you're going to say to a candle or in a jar or whatever. Really pay attention to those things, because that's going to be your forte. The fact that you have a ton of Scorpio placements, okay? I'm actually not going to pick on you for this. The fact that you have a ton of Scorpio placements and that Mercury in Libra, you also, in my opinion, would have a natural ability when it comes to ritual magic. Because Scorpio is a very, very detailed sign. They love all the details. Like, if y'all ever needed somebody to catch somebody in a lie, you call your Scorpio friend, because they're gonna, okay, well, here's the details. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, they know all the details of everything, right? So super detail oriented, and being able to be fantastic at words. That's a combination that equals being amazing at ritual magic. I'm just saying. That is exactly what that is. So, yeah, ritual magic is going to be a big plus for you. Okay? I'm just saying. Ooh, this is the dark one. That makes sense. So somebody said the list was sold out. Is that what I heard? Well, I would tell you. Son of a fuck, what are you doing? Piece of crap. There we go. What the hell? I was like, that is not mine. It didn't even play the whole playlist. Stop it. Bachacha. I'm looking to see, because somebody said that it was sold out. It shouldn't be. Oh, it timed out. My sorry. It timed out. All right, hold on. I was like, I still show that there are tickets available. But you know what? It was me. I fucked up. Because I can't tell time. Let's see how. The 21st. By the way, those of y'all that are interested in finding about your magical placements, on the 21st, I do have already an astrology live set up for that. Shit. Hold on, I fucked up. Oh, no. I almost fucked it up again. Hold on. Just trying to fuck everything all up. Because that's what I do, man. For somebody that is obsessed with time and time witchery, I can't tell time. Jesus Christ. All right. I'm getting it fixed. Hold, please. Hold, please. Hold, please. Hold, please. All right, there we go. Let me get it on the link tree for y'all. I had to duplicate the list, duplicate the listing thing. So, sorry, I can't tell time. I made it end at 4:30, and I'm like, why? When you had 2 lives scheduled, like, why did? Whatever. So no, the list is not full. Welcome to Life with Bodhi. I also break technology constantly. You know, I wonder what would happen if I put myself in a Faraday cage. Just saying. Just saying. There we go. All right, I updated the link on there. So click that and make sure that works. So if y'all go to my profile, whether you're on TikTok or YouTube, it says spicy mini bar charts. And that should be the right one. Oh, I love the boba all the time. I loves the boba all the time. It's a problem. It's a problem. But to be fair, this one only had 1 boba in it, and it had chia seeds, and this is winter melon. I usually try to have a winter melon tea I don't know, maybe every 3 weeks or so, just because I am diabetic. So the winter melon is actually really, really good for you for like blood pressure, sugar, all that stuff. It's really, really good for you. And yeah. All right, let me get back to my list for today because I just closed that out. Stop it! Stop it! Okay. Jessica's next. All right, before I pull up Jessica's chart, I'm going to go grab a Pepsi. That's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to do that. So y'all have like a 2-minute, I'll even pause over here on, there we go. Here we are. By the way, I started playing a new game on my phone. I want you guys to come play with me. Because it's cool, okay? I meant to tell you about it earlier, but I want you to come play with me. Also because I got irritated and I was like, fuck you guys. And, so, hang on, I'll have to tell you the name of it. But you get to be a plague doctor. So there's that. Hold on. Last Asylum. Plague. You get to be a plague doctor. I'm just saying. I like it because there's so fucking much to do that you don't really have to spend money. Does that make sense? And I obviously am Bodhi Blue on there, but you get to like a certain level and it makes you build like the little alliance house or whatever. You get to fight zombies and you get to fight the Rat King, and you get to be a plague doctor, and you get to have a falcon that you can send off to go get shit, and you get to make your little hospital and save people and build a town, and like, I don't know, it just makes me happy. I've been playing it. I've been playing it a lot. I've been playing it a lot. But anyway, it gets to a point where it makes you get a little alliance, right? And so it just automatically puts you in one. And so I didn't pay attention, right? But I logged in one day to see that the only thing I paid attention to was that there can be like 100 people in there, and there was 99. So I was like, okay, this is a big little alliance thing, right? So I was like, cool. Well, I kept getting kicked out and re-added, and I'm like, my brain hurts. What is going on? And then I realized that almost everybody in that whole fucking thing was a bot. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. And so I got on the little world chat and I was like, okay, so how do I know who the bots are in this game? Because, you know, and it's the ones that they all want to add you to their Discord or give you their WhatsApp number. Fuck you. So I was like, I'm not doing that. And if you're in the chat, you can see who, wow, I don't know what that accent was. I'm sorry. If you're in the chat, you can see like English or the world chat, right? And so I'm in the English chat and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. You know, like, how do I know? Blah, blah, blah. I start talking to people and they were like, oh, you can join mine. I'm like, fuck you, I made my own. Fuck you, I made my own. I just was like, no, I don't want to be in nobody's stuff. I'm gonna be in my own stuff. Yeah, but you should come play with me because it's fun. And how people on there, when you go to the big map, they have little pink kitty cat towns. I want a pink kitty cat town. I'm sure it's probably a lot of money or some special shit you gotta buy, but I still want it. Yes, Jesse. Hang on, let me go back out. The icon is like a little plague doctor guy carrying some shit. I actually been really enjoying it because you don't have to fight people. Does that make sense? Here. Yeah, Last Asylum Plague. I was hoping it would let me show you the little thingy. It's got a really high rating. It's like 4.7 out of 5. But it's, I guess that, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's got like 250,000 reviews. So to me, that's a good game. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I'm really digging it. So come play with me. After my live stream, I'll be playing on it. I'm just letting you know. I'll probably be playing it and playing WoW at the same time. I haven't got to play WoW in a little bit, so I need to play WoW. But yeah. All right. Let me get back on my shit. ADHD. We might just have a whole weekend of astrology. That sounds fun too. Because I get in these phases where I'm like, let's do just astrology. And then I'm like, let's not do any astrology. So, Jessica C is next. Hey, Leslie. I got yours done earlier today, girl. It is on my YouTube. Yeah. Here. Oh, shoot. I'm trying to pin that. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I've been enjoying it, I'm not gonna lie. I've also been playing Idol Cult. If you guys want a good one you can play by yourself, and it's just one, like, I check it in the morning and I check it in the evening a little bit here and there, but you get to be a cult leader and you get to initiate people and make, you know, sacrificey people, and I don't know, Sass was like, okay ma'am, and I'm like, no, it's really a fun game, and she was like, okay. I'm like, it's fun, I like it, it's funny. Your little cult leader guy gets kicked out of his cult by a usurper, and then you have to build another one, and you got to feed the Kraken, and I like feeding the Kraken. That's all I want to do is feed the Kraken. I played Gossip Harbor for a little bit, and then I lost interest, and I don't remember why. The most longest term game that I played Shop Titans, and I have played that since it came out. I like that one a lot. I do. I like that one a lot. Yeah, I'll log in just to feed the Kraken. You can't let the Kraken starve. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, this is the one it did earlier that we all kind of liked. That we all really liked. It wasn't kind of. Yeah, I miss gaming, and that's one thing, like, I've been so busy that I haven't been able to, and I realized that is something that I love and I haven't been able to in so long, and now I'm finally back at a point where I can. I am carving out time for that again because I like it too much. All right. Oh, my phone is like, are you still here? Yes, but no. Okay. Oh, a non-stellium. Only the second one today. Only the second one today. All right, this is Jessica C. So Virgo, Leo rising, Sagittarius moon. That's funny. And I had your chart in here, so I've looked at it before, meaning I probably laughed at that before. That is 100% a conundrum right there. And Virgo in the first house. Tell me you're stubborn without telling me you're stubborn. Ooh, my nose is itching. Somebody's talking about me. Okay. Three retrogrades. Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. Giggity. All but one placement in the lower hemisphere. Okay. Virgo. Virgo Sun. First house. Virgo Mercury, first house. Virgo Jupiter, second house. Libra Venus, second house. Okay. Okay. Hold, please. Okay, Bodhi, you're getting off on a tangent. Hecate in the third house in Libra. Pluto in Scorpio in the fourth house. Moon in the fourth house in Sagittarius. Neptune and Uranus in Capricorn in the fifth house. Saturn in Aquarius in the sixth house. And Gemini, Mars in the 11th house. Okay. I find it interesting that your second house is split down the middle. So the reason I find that interesting, your Virgo it sits right between, like, it starts half of your first house and goes to half of your second house, right? It like that. So Virgos are very, very strong mentally, especially with who they are. The fact that your sun sits in your first house, the house of the self, I would be willing to bet that people have called you selfish several times in your life, and you're like, and you weren't being selfish, right? You genuinely are like, I was not doing that. And so I would bet you get really upset. So please don't think I'm calling you selfish. I would bet you get really upset. They do that because they don't know how to take you. You have a very strong personality, sense of self, sense of being. Like, you just have a strong presence, a strong energy. So I would bet that you also get called intimidating, or people want to know why you're acting cold or whatever. Has nothing to do with that. It's focus. You have 4 major placements in those first 2 houses, the house of the self and then, you know, the material girl house. So your self is in the self house, and your words are in the self house, both in Virgo, which is, you know, very intense zodiac sign. And then in your second house, you have your luck, which is also in Virgo, which is a very intense zodiac sign. So your Jupiter. And then you having your Venus in the second house is a big thing too, but that one's in Libra, so it softens that a little bit. But you are always, always, always going to be driven by work, by money, by material things. And I don't mean that in a bad way, okay? And by who you are and who you feel you need to be. That moon in Sagittarius in the 4th house. So there is driven by money, and there is driven by money. You guys know what I'm talking about. People that have a lot of placements in the second house, the first house, etc., they're very tuned in with what they want in the world. They're very tuned in with where they want to go and all of that stuff. That is not evil billionaire energy, okay? Just because there's a lot of placements there. Just letting y'all know. I'm like, let me clarify here real quick. Your Pluto being in the 4th house with those really intense placements that we just talked about. That's in Scorpio. I would bet you really fight with trying to keep up with other people in your family. Because your moon is also in your 4th house. That's a really deep connection to roots and home and so on. But your Pluto is square with your ascending and descending. And that's a lot of kind of oppositional energy. So I would bet you struggle a lot with trying to be who it is that your family thinks you should be. And then having a Mars and Gemini in the 11th house. Okay. There's a lot of opposition that I feel like is working against you, and we need to talk about that right now. Like I said, that Pluto placement, you're going to gather a lot of your identity. So we're going to talk about the good and the bad of that. You're going to gather a lot of your identity from home, roots, family, ancestors. Like you're very deeply connected to those aspects of yourself. But on the other side of that coin, you know what I mean? On the other side of that coin, it means that you feel the need to live up to their expectations, if that makes sense. You feel like you have to really pay attention to them, to the expectations, to all of that stuff. And with your moon being there and your moon being in Sagittarius, I love you, Sagittariuses. I really and truly fucking do. Y'all are some of the best people. Because you are the party, you bring the party, you love the party, and at the same time, you are such deep feelers on the back end that you're so loyal and you're so loving and you just, yeah. But Sagittariuses have a really, for a fire sign, they have such a deep, emotional, almost like Piscean aspect of themselves. So having a moon in Sagittarius doesn't mean that you're like, rah, I'll fire all the time. You know, you feel stuff so deeply on the back end and you let it sit there until it becomes that like blue flame that burns, like will burn down the whole world, if that makes sense. So having those two in your 4th house, they cause you a lot of issues. And then that Pluto being square with your ascending and descending, like who you put out that you are, the chart ruler, and then who that back end shadow aspect is. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then your Saturn also being in retrograde in your 6th house, you over worry about your work ethic to the point that you end up like grinding to a halt because you overthink, oh, am I doing the right thing? Should I work here? Should I work there? Should I do this? Should I do that? And so you overextend yourself, because you're a Virgo and Virgos do that naturally, but you overextend yourself because of that Saturn retrograde placement. And it being an Aquarius, you overthink everything with it. So, dude, I actually don't feel like we need to talk about the 2 retrogrades in the Neptune and Uranus area right there. We do need to talk about the Mars in your 11th house though in Gemini, because that is like 25 degrees, 20, like it's 25, 25. It's crazy. The reason I feel like we need to talk about that is because that one is also in trine with your Hecatean placement, which is in smack dab in the middle of that 3rd house. You are one of those people, being that your Hecate placement sits in your 3rd house, that's your mind. That is all of the mentally brain things about you. And it's in Libra. So it's a cardinal sign. It's a very balanced sign. Having your Mars in Gemini, that's also a dualistic sign. And that's in the social house. You are a master at manifesting, especially with words, for other people. Can you do it for yourself? Yes, but you always feel bad. You overthink it, and you do end up doing it for other people. First of all, stop that. Stop that. Stop manifesting all the shit you want for other people. I think that it comes naturally for you to speak manifestation out for other people because of those placements, but you can start turning that back on yourself and actually get those things that you need to be okay, right? The other thing that comes along with being able to speak manifestations into existence for other people is that you are going to have to be kind of careful, okay? We talked about, not just because, if you verbally curse somebody, that's going to be a thing, but we talked about that Pluto placement being in Scorpio there in the 4th house. And if you allow that manifestation to kick in too much when it comes to ancestors, family members, what they think you should do or whatever, you're going to end up manifest rat holing yourself into something that you hate. That you hate. So just know that that's a thing, Jessica, okay? Just saying. All right, let's see here. Maybe if my list will pull... Okay, thank you. Some bitch. I've actually felt bad about griping at my computer because then I'm like, is it my computer or is it the internet? Or is it the internet? All right, so we'll put that down. Put this up because I don't think that I have pulled a chart for you. By the way, I've been watching the comments. I love how many of you guys are like, I found that game. I'll come play. Here in just a second, I'll pull up. Well, here, let me do it right now since I'm in between charts. I will pull up who me is. And you can find me. Oh, you guys want to know? You guys want to know the name of the alliance? So you can find it? Are you ready? Brondo Corp. It's a purple banner with a little gold, it looks like a gold evil eye on it, but it's BRCO, Bronco. They get it? It's funny because I grew up in Denver, but Brondo Corp, BRAWNDO CORP. I'm just saying. If you know what movie that's from, you know how fucking funny it is. I'm just saying. And then yeah, I'm Bodhi Blue on there. You can't miss me. I'm just saying. But yeah, Brondo Corp. That's it. That's it right there. That's it right there. Just saying. You know. I know. I had... There they are. I was like, I know I had the things the other day. It is BRAWNDO Corp. CORP. I know that's not how it's spelled in the movie, but I didn't want to get in trouble. You know what I mean? Yeah. Brondo Corp. I know that's not how it isn't. I know that's not how it's spelled in the movie. Idiocracy is one of my favorite fucking movies. And it's becoming more and more of my favorite documentary day by day by day. It's funny. Oh my gosh, Kelly. So Kelly G is next. You are only like 2 days older than my sister. That's insane. All right, let me pull this back up. All right, come on. On Aquarius. Ooh, Aquarius in the 10th house. Sun in the 10th house in Aquarius. Okay. Mars and Mercury also in the 10th house, but those are in Pisces. And your Mercury was in retrograde when you were born, meaning you are comfortable and a little more powerful during a retrograde, Mercury retrograde. And then Moon in Aries. Ooh, ma'am. Okay. Ooh, double air sign. Gemini rising, Sagittarius descendant. That's interesting. Okay. Gorgeous triangles, all in the middle of your chart. 4 Libra placements, all in fucking retrograde. Now, one of them isn't a main placement, okay? So, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and your Hecate placement, all in the 5th house, all in retrograde. And then Uranus, barely in Scorpio, like just a smidge, just a frog's hair. Just a frog's hair. Over the line in the 6th house in Scorpio. And then Neptune placement, Sagittarius, 7th house. Okay. Oh shit, let's not kick that. That is my computer. Whoops. I was like, what am I kicking? Wasn't really kicking, swinging my feet. All right. I like this one. Girl, you have such a problem. Well, let me say this. Dude, you have a problem losing yourself. Your first 3 houses are little. 9, 7, 8, 9 are also small. 10 through 12 and 4 through 6 are big, right? And the fact that you have no major placements in those first 3 houses doesn't mean that you kind of lose yourself, but your first house is in Gemini, meaning that you have a very dualistic view of you. So that can be good. It can also be bad. Having your rising in Gemini as well, and it is... I don't think that it'll let me just click on that. Of course not, because it's being a bitch. Okay. Yeah, that and your Pluto being in retrograde in the 5th house. You really struggled with who you were as a kid, and you struggle with who you are now. And it kind of fucks with you a little bit. Okay. So, I want to start with the 10th house, and then I want to move to the 5th house. The 10th house is career, right? You have your Sun, you have your Mars, and you have your Mercury there. So, who you are at your core, your passion and your drive, and then your communication. You are somebody who you are very focused on work. And it's not even about the money, it's work, right? Your moon being in the 11th house, you are only going to be happy when you do something that you feel is meaningful to everybody else and that you can utilize to help other people. Because of that moon placement right there, being able, and your moon's in Aries, being able to really do something that allows you to help other people, help humanity, that's what makes you happy. I do love the fact that your moon is tied in opposition to 3 of those retrograde placements, your Saturn and your Jupiter and your Hecate placement, which are all in retrograde, and those are in opposition. That actually works out really well in your favor. So I would really trust that intuition a lot more than you probably do, because a lot of times when I see that a Saturn is in retrograde, that's usually, a problem with work ethic, a problem with discipline, a problem with... Stop! That was straight up Disney. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. It can be a problem with motivation and things like that. And then when I see a Jupiter in retrograde, then that can be somebody that you feel like you're very unlucky. You don't have any personal power, etc. Those being tied into a moon would be horrendous placements, because then you feel that so deeply that you can't get out of it. Except yours, they're in opposition. So it kind of pulls them away. So it's not a bad thing that those are in opposition. I would lean into your moon placement a little bit, because I would bet that when you don't trust your intuition, that's when things really kind of go haywire a little bit. So trust it. 100% trust it, okay? Your words are only going to work really correctly when there's a Mercury retrograde. And as an Aquarius, I would bet that makes you very serious and very, like, you don't talk a lot. You're one of those really quiet people. I keep having to stop and take deep breaths because I'm not breathing when I'm talking too much. But that Mercury retrograde in Pisces, the fact that you were born during a retrograde, that actually keeps you from getting in trouble a lot, because you do also have a Mars in Pisces, which is a very quick action type of placement. I love that those all three are in the 10th house. It means that you absolutely love any kind of job, work, project, hobby, etc. that allows you to not people. Being an Aquarius and then having Mercury retrograde in your chart, yeah, you're happy when you absolutely don't have to people. Now I want to go down to that 5th house, because the 5th house, having those 4 intense retrograde placements all in Libra, those affect you really deeply. And while they are in trine with your rising, and a couple of them are in trine with your Venus up there, they play on you a lot. Your motivation is always going to look different than somebody else's, and they're not going to understand. Because you have a very intense amount of air sign placements, you're always going to need the logical reason behind doing something before you will do it. If that makes sense. How is it frozen? It's literally on my data. I see you, TikTok. I see you, TikTok. Oh, Leslie says, hi, Miss Bodhi. I just watched the recording. I took the symposium on the weekend for a reason. How can you follow up in your chart reading? If you're wanting to deep dive into something else, then I would just advise booking an astrology appointment. Or I'm a few days behind in messaging, and I'm probably going to be that way perpetually right now. So that would be the quickest way to do something like that, would be to just book an appointment. But yeah. So Kelly, the fact that that is an overwhelming amount of air, you have to know the logical reasons behind stuff before. Oh my God, again? How is it over there on YouTube? Is it really bad on YouTube right now? Like, there's no reason that it should be doing that over here. Oh, let me look at the weather. Yeah, there's no reason it should be doing that, because I have all my bars and it's on data. I just hate things. I do. I hate things. Let's see here. What in the hell? All right, so is it working over there? I don't understand. I really just think the internet blinked. Huh. That's weird. That's so weird. Are we back over here or no? So YouTube is fine, but the one that has my data, the one that's literally using the 5G, It's okay over here now. I still have the red dot. I still have the red dot. Okay. So, Kelly, this right here, all those retrogrades that we're talking about right there, that is why people think that you're uninterested, or why they think that like there's a disconnect or whatever. You do have several water placements, but there's no earth placements at all in your chart. So it can make you feel very aloof to some people, where they don't feel like they can connect with you very well. And I would be willing to bet that's been a problem your whole life, that's kind of hurt your feels a little bit, especially as an Aquarius. You feel all that shit really, really deeply. So you've learned just to keep to yourself. And since your Venus is in the 9th house in Aquarius, and it's in trine with some powerful shit too, you love learning, and you love language, and you love books, and you love traveling, and so you're happy to do all that yourself. Like, you really do not care if anybody else ever does anything with you. But at the same time, being an Aquarius, you do crave that connection, because you want somebody to talk about the things with. So what I'm going to say is this. If you are doing anything, whether it is in just daily life, family, job, friends, anything like that, relationship, and you're starting something new, or they're explaining something or whatever, you need to find a way to explain to them. You need the logic. You need the rules, and you need the logic, because an Aquarius with that many Libra placements in the 5th house, you need the rules. You need to read the rule book. And you are also that person, because of all those air sign placements. If people don't play by the rules, you get upset. If you're not going to be a rule breaker, you just don't want to. Everything needs to be by the rule book. And so just pay attention. And if it gets to the point where there's miscommunication with somebody, and you aren't sure how to fix it, just be like, hey, I've got, an overactive brain, an overthinky brain. And so I just need to know the rules of the project. Like, say it's at work, you have this project you're working on or whatever. I just need to know the parameters of the project. Like, you tell me the parameters, I shall work within the parameters. It's same thing with something with family. Like, okay, you tell me what time to be there and what to bring, and I will be there. Let me handle the rest. That's kind of how you need to look at it, in a very, very Spock-like logical aspect. And that will help you tremendously, Kelly, I promise. Okay? Let's see here. Who is next on my list? Maybe. There we go. Michelle. The fact that this is taking forever is just pissing me off. Okay. Oh, fellow Cappy. Thank you. We might have broken the stellium streak. Maybe. Oh God, a Cappy with Capricorn and their sun in the 10th house. And 3 big placements in the 6th house. Damn. This is Michelle F. A workaholic who likes to be a workaholic and will always be a workaholic because they're a workaholic. Oh, thank you for the gift over there. I appreciate you. That is so fucking funny. That's so funny. Okay, so Capricorn sun in the 10th house. Mercury and Aquarius in the 11th house. Nothing in 12, 1, 2, or 3. Hecate placement in retrograde in Leo in the 4th house. Jupiter in retrograde in Virgo. I almost said Aquarius. Literally not Aquarius. In Virgo in the 5th house. Mars in the 5th house in Virgo. Saturn in the 6th house in Virgo in retrograde. Moon in Libra in the 6th house. And Pluto in Libra in the 6th house. Okay. I love that we have the same moon and sun sign. And then Uranus and Scorpio in the 7th house and Neptune and Sagittarius in the 8th house. Okay. So almost everything is over here. Okay. The middle of your whole chart looks like a beacon. It's really cool. I am going to say this, that you have a pretty well-balanced shadow side. Having that Libra descendant. And then, I mean, you do have some things in retrograde, don't get me wrong. But having a Libra descendant and then having some of these other placements where it's not overthinking too much, where it's not deep emotional signs in certain houses and so on, you have a pretty well-rounded shadow side. The only thing that I'm going to say is I know that Libra moon does make you overthink things, especially when it comes to your health. The 6th house is like, it's physical health, your physical, how your body is and how you look at health and being healthy and so on. And it's also work ethic. So you kind of overthink every little thing that happens with your health at all. So no WebMD, no Googling symptoms for you, okay? No, don't do that. But I keep looking at this Saturn placement. Let me look. Okay. I was looking at going down and looking at some of the different retrograde placements that you have. And your Hecate in retrograde in the 4th house. That is in Leo. That is an intense placement. It makes you feel like you cannot find the right path. It makes you feel like the things that you're feeling aren't correct. And it's tied in with your moon, meaning that you overthink all of those things. But it's tied in with Mercury in Capricorn in the 9th house. First of all, that is going to make you phenomenal at word magic, at verbal alchemy, at ritual magic, at anything at all that has to do with words. Manifestation is going to be a good one, but that Hecatean placement being in retrograde means that it's always going to be just a little tougher. I like the fact that those two are in conjunct and they're not hanging out happy like with your Mercury. But the fact that your higher learning house is in Capricorn for the most part, it's only a tiny bit of Sagittarius there. That's a very intensive house ruler, because your higher learning, your philosophy, your travel, all of those things mean everything to you. You are a firm believer in strengthening your mind and strengthening everything that's going on around it, with it, in it, etc. Not so much an overthinker, but just a collector of the things, a collector of knowledge. Your way of rebellion is literally something spiritual. That Neptune and Sagittarius in the 8th house, your way of rebelling against parents, of rebelling against the world, of anything like that, is to do something spiritually that they're not gonna like. And that Mars that Mars in Virgo is like, yeah, do it, because it's in the 5th house. So that's your inner child egging it on. Venus in Aquarius in the 11th house at 22 degrees. That's funny. That's funny. By the way, just looking at here, like paying attention to how many repeating numbers you have in here. There's a couple of 11s. There's a couple of 22s. Like, I see you over there. A couple of 21s. But that Venus in the 11th house is a very social house and a very social placement. But it's in Aquarius, meaning you are kind of a little bit more of an outgoing aspect, or an outgoing person than you would like to be sometimes. Oh yeah, this is the one that sounds like Tim Burton. I feel like I also need to point out this Uranus placement because it's in Scorpio in the 7th house. It is tied into your ascending, it's tied into your Saturn, and it's tied into your Pluto. That is a placement that's always going to make you feel like no relationship is ever good enough. That's your planet placement of rebellion. And, what you should do versus what you're gonna do. But Scorpio, that's that house ruler. And that particular house, the 7th house, is, relationships. So that particular placement kind of jacks you up a little bit. And the fact that it's tied into your Saturn in retrograde tells me that that is a karmic placement for you. Overcoming either not being able to trust or not being able to be in a solid friendship or relationship or whatever. That is a big karmic issue for you. Oh, that Pluto placement. Okay. Your Pluto placement is in the 6th house. It is not in retrograde, but it is in Libra. So you really try to balance out who you are, who people think you are, and who you want to be, and who people think you should want to be. And that placement right there, I guarantee you, wears you out. Absolutely wears you out. I will say this too, that Jupiter placement that is in your 5th house, that is your creativity and your inner child and stuff like that. That being in retrograde, you have a problem connecting to inner child work. You have a problem connecting to your inner child just in general, period. So I would say that's definitely something to work on. It's not tied in with your Saturn, which leads me to say that's not a karmic placement. But working through that will help you. Could you ignore it the rest of your life? Absolutely you could. But come on, man. looking at something on the back end there with hers. Ow, what is poking me in the eyeball? Don't do that. I love that these two hemispheres are pretty evenly distributed, but these two are not. This one is very, very heavy where there's only two over here. 2 placements. Well, 3 counting your ascending. So you kind of live for other people more than yourself a little bit. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see who is on the list next after Michelle. I'm going to let you guys know that we will probably take a little break here in a minute. I'll either pause the lives or I'll give you guys like a 20-30 minute break. It won't let me pause it for that long. And then that way everybody can go pee and do the things. Emily, I don't think I've pulled yours, have I? I don't think so. Yeah. Damn it. Are you fucking serious right now? I don't know if Emily's here. Is it AM or PM on your birth time, love? I'll be getting code again. Where's the top of this shit? There we go. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a chip. Shh. All right, let's fix this. Taurus sun, Taurus moon, Pisces rising. Oh, damn. AM. Okay, good. That's what I put. I was going to change it if you were here and said PM. All right. No. You're good. You're good. I'm glad you were here. All right. Let's look at y'all. Oh, you don't trust your own magic. Okay. Like that immediately, I saw your Hecate placement tied in with your Pluto. And okay. We'll get there. So, Sun in Taurus, Moon in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus. Sun and Moon in 2nd house. Mercury in 3rd house. Hecate barely in Gemini in the 3rd house. Mars and Leo in the 6th house. Pluto and Scorpio in retrograde in the 9th house. I almost said Virgo. Jupiter in Sagittarius in retrograde in the 9th house. Neptune in Capricorn in retrograde in the 11th house. Okay, we're going to talk about that. And then Uranus is just a smidge over there in Aquarius in the 11th house. Saturn in Pisces in the 1st house. Oh. Okay. And then Venus in Aries in the 1st house. Scorpio rising. Virgo descendant. Okay. Okay. So first of all, I find it interesting that your Uranus placement is at 0 degrees. Okay. Let's talk about this magical placement and your Pluto placement first. It's funny that both of them are tied into that Uranus placement. Okay. So the reason I said you don't trust your magic is because your Hecate placement is in Gemini in the 3rd house, right? That's a very intensive mental magic placement. So your magic sits mainly here. Like you're talking manifestation, time, astral travel, anything at all that has to do with the mind, like opening that awareness, right? It is in opposition with your Pluto, which is in retrograde in your 9th house. That is a very intense. Okay, just Pluto in the 9th house. We're just going to start there. Just Pluto in the 9th house. That means that you are more concerned with learning the things correctly than anything, right? You are concerned with traveling and having meaningful experiences than just travel itself. And being a Taurus, that's something that I'm sure you fight because you're like, no, I want to do the luxury cruise, bitch, you know, not just, I want to go here to see this. So you fight with that all the time. But that Pluto placement being in Scorpio is a very intense one because it means you're really driven to learn the things, do the things, see, like you want to see it with your own eyeballs, right? But that being in opposition with your Hecatean placement, that is you not trusting your intuition, you not trusting your magic, you not trusting that, you know, magic is real in the world, period, etc., if that makes sense. So you go back and forth from being very, very like a magic bitch to then being super overly Spock logical where you can't function. And I think that is what gets you hung up on your own path, on anything at all to do with spiritual topics, just period. That's what gets you hung up. So anytime you feel like, my advice is going to be this, anytime you feel like you're getting hung up on anything at all spiritually, just pause, walk away, and come back to it, you know, the next day. Literally overnight, sleep, and then come back to it the next day. Because it's always going to jack you up if you don't. Or if it's something really important that you're like, my dad's in the hospital, I really need to do something, but I don't know what to do, but I know I need to do it, then I would back up from the emotional part of it and really look at what are the logical things with health workings you can do. So looking at what herbs, what spiritual meanings of what herbs, you know, are for those specific ailments that you can use in a working, you know, to strengthen dad, you know, or what are stones that you can use. Look at the very, very logical, like, layouts of different things. That will appease that side and pull things back together. I wanted to talk about that first because that was like lots of gorgeous shapes in the middle of yours. Those Taurus placements, let's talk about that, because the sun and the moon in the Taurus in the 2nd house. If y'all want to know ever in the history ever how to make Emily happy, you bring her like favorite luxury dish foods, right? You bring her the bougie coffee, and you bring her the super fuzzy blanket, and you know, you take her somewhere really, really nice. That's how you make Emily happy. Actually, you probably have to bring the nice to her because she's going to be at home. But that Pisces rising is interesting because being a Taurus, Tauruses are usually pretty serious, right? Or they're playful. Tauruses don't like for people to see the darker emotions, the sadness, the grief, the anger. Tauruses don't really like for people to see that. The Pisces, however, Pisces don't give an absolute fuck. Pisces are just like, you know what? I'm mad, motherfucker, so here it is right in your face. Or, man, I'm really sad. I'm really down. You know, whereas for a Taurus, that's like the worst thing a Taurus can think of. It takes a lot for a Taurus to get in your face mad. And a Taurus is not going to tell you that they're sad. They're not going to tell you they're upset. They're just going to shut all the way the fuck down. Like, all the way the fuck down. And so, those two things war a lot. The fact that your moon is tied in with your Jupiter. Okay. That's what I was looking for right there. Your sun is not super happy with your rising. So that part of you fights a lot. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the Uranus and Neptune placements. Neptune and Capricorn in the 11th house in retrograde. Uranus in the 11th house in Aquarius at 0 degrees. So you have your spiritual planet in your social house. You have your planet of rebellion in your social house. And just, I think the only saving grace with that Uranus placement is that it's not in Capricorn. Because those two placements in the 11th house are very intense. And if your Neptune was not in retrograde, I would be a little worried because you being a Taurus, you already are not a big peopler, right? You want to people for this much time and then you want to be done for 2 weeks, you know, like, okay, I'm going to people for this much time and then now 2.5 weeks. Like that's how you like your schedule to roll. But if your Neptune was in Capricorn, or is in Capricorn, but was not in retrograde in the 11th house, that would have you out and about and you would go insane because Capricorns use their charm a lot to get their own selves out of the house. Capricorns are usually very social people because they have a need to understand things, a need to see things for themselves, a need to be at the cool events or not at this event, or, you know, Capricorns have a need to be social for the most part. Having that in retrograde, however, kind of keeps your little Taurus self, you know, happy at home, but it also makes you feel super disconnected. That Neptune being in retrograde right there, that makes you feel super, super fucking disconnected from the outside world all the time. So fighting with yourself about being disconnected is a huge thing. It is a humongous, humongous thing. I do love that your Mars is in Leo in the 6th house, right in the middle, because, dude, that is a powerful placement right there, especially for, you know, health and work. And to me, seeing a placement like that, even if you do get sick, setting your mind to it and busting through it, you're fine. I would bet if you got some diagnosis about something, the Taurus part of you would want to sit there for a minute, be like, I don't like it, you know, and be Eeyore. And then that fucking Leo Mars right there would be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to stomp all over it. And, you know, I'm going to win. Like, so I do love that placement a lot. I also love that Saturn's in your 1st house, even though it's in Pisces. I love it in your 1st house because that is an intensity about you that draws people to you. So, I mean, that's good. And it's also bad. But it's good in the fact that it kind of balances out a little bit that Jupiter being in retrograde, because Jupiter in retrograde is you always feel like you're not lucky enough, but that Saturn in the 1st house, that is you always getting that job you wanted because, you know, of the charm that particular placement brings. I feel like there's so much to this. I could sit and dissect for like 2 hours. That Venus in the 1st house in Aries, you definitely need somebody that's going to be a little subservient. Not, I'm saying that with love, okay? I'm saying that with love. But you need to be the one to wear the pants in the relationship. Like, just period. You might let them have the pants every now and then to iron the pants, but you need to be the one to wear the pants, you know? Like, those are my pants. You may clean them, peasant. No, I'm just kidding. But, I mean, that's kind of also the mentality. Like, you need somebody that's not a pushover, okay? But, like, somebody that's going to let you be in control for the most part. And then, you know, when you say something wrong or do something wrong, they're going to be like, yo, that wasn't very cool, man. You need somebody really, really chill in that aspect. I actually think if you're worried about relationships and things like that, somebody like an Aquarius or a Scorpio would be really good for you. Just saying. Leo is not going to be good for you, by the way. Just letting you know. Might be good schmexually in the bedroom, but other than that, no. This needs to come on with itself there. That makes sense, love? And no, I haven't done this next chart because I don't recognize your name. So, we're just going to start over. Tina K. Or not start over, but I'm just going to give you a new chart off the bat. Maybe. Maybe. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my God. Nope. Not my music. Marv. All right, let's see here. What other kinds of stuff do I have over here that we can listen to that won't get me flagged on YouTube or the Talk Talk? I know. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm just gonna see. I just put a little bitty thing in, and let's see what it does. I feel like everything just shut off. What in the fuck? I'll tell you what we're gonna do because I feel like TikTok isn't rolling very well, and this isn't rolling very well. So, oh, you're welcome. So let's take a little break for a minute. I'm going to reset my router and we're going to go from there because I'm watching the comments haven't moved at all, which means it's frozen up. So we're going to take a little break and then we'll figure it out here in just a little bit. So I'll be back live. Give me about 30 minutes or so. Okay? Yeah.